Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your May 2020 mid-month general readings. I hope everyone, as always, is safe and well and healthy and sane. Thanks for taking the time to tune in today. So, this reading is for the fire sign of Sagittarius. That's Sagittarius Sun, Moon, Rising. If your Venus is in Sagittarius, or if you're a cross watching, for say that 5 times fast, cross watching for a Sagittarian. Uh, watch all of your signs if you know them, your sun, your moon, your rising, your Venus, because general readings always resonate a little differently, and watching all of your signs can kind of add different aspects to what's going on in your life today and can be very helpful. If any of these readings do resonate with you and you'd like to take a deeper look at something, reach out for a personal reading with me or get information about that, you can click on the description link below. Click on that little arrow that pulls down info, contact details. You'll see my email address there, Maggie, the number one McGuire at gmail.com. I can usually respond to initial inquiries within the same day or the first 24 hours with more information. And readings, that's all that I do. I do it full time. So I'm pretty diligent at working with everyone's schedules and my own to get readings set up with you or out to you as quickly as possible. So send me an email if you're interested. I'd be most happy to work with you. Okay, Sagittarius. Sag for the last half of May 2020. For those of you who want to know, I am using, what am I using? I am using the Gilded Tarot Royale, which is a recently released, updated version of the regular Gilded Tarot by artist Cyril Marchetti, my favorite tarot designer. All right, Sagittarius, we begin with the Two of Wands, crossroads, trying to make a decision, maybe an intuitive decision between maybe trying to figure it out. Which way do I go? Because of the Tower. Okay. We have the Seven of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands. From the bottom of the deck, your overall energy for the last half of May is the Two of Swords. So Sagittarius, looks like there's a decision to make. You're at a crossroads. Obviously, you have two twos, twos representing duality, crossroads, choices, but you're feeling a bit stuck. There may be a solution or a path that you're meant to take, and maybe you know this on an intuitive level, but you don't want to take it, so you're kind of like not really looking at that particular option very closely or not at all. Uh, because there's been some kind of, I keep getting big interruption in plans for you, and you're stuck. It's your overall energy for the last half of May, the Two of Swords. But this is often a card of being reluctant or resistant to seeing something in front of you or taking action in a way that you know is best. Oftentimes, when the moon shows up in a tarot card, maybe not the card, the moon itself, because that can represent a lack of clarity, and it can, because things are kind of fuzzy and not so clear under the light of the moon as they are, say, with the light of the sun. But the moon also represents two deep spiritual feelings, intuition. And you can see that the swords are crossed in front of that, and there's a blindfold on. Swords is air energy, and that represents logic, truth, insight, wisdom, perceptions, ideologies, how we communicate. There's a sense of not seeing something, but out of choice here. It's like, and you're trying to figure out which way to go. The Two of Wands is being at a crossroads and trying to figure out which path to take. But this can be a card that's, trying to make the decision based on intuition. But yet, I feel, Sagittarius, like your intuition is actually telling you something, which path is right. But for some reason, there's something about that path or that option or that particular choice that you don't like because it doesn't fit in with your previous plan. And so you don't even want to look at it. Because again, I'm getting this sense, why this two energy? Because of the Tower card, which represents some unexpected thing that comes in a very unexpected, maybe even shocking kind of way, and it breaks down something that was in place before. And again, I'm getting this phrase, a big unexpected interruption. I feel like, Sagittarius, there was some kind of plan you had. You were in motion. I think you've been on this path for the last few months or so, like making plans for something else, the next chapter of your life, moving, relocating, a new job. I don't know, something like that, or something, some big thing that was set up. And the details of it have been challenging and difficult. I think because of, the shelter in place, the pandemic, all of that kind of stuff. It's blocked some things, it's delayed some things, it's slowed things down. And I think that this Tower card represents some other big unexpected thing that's put you in a position to have to divert away from the path that you were on, and you have maybe a couple of different options, or maybe just one other option, but for some reason I'm getting this reluctance to kind of take it because it wasn't what you wanted previously. It didn't fit into your previous plans. It wasn't what you wanted, and you're trying to figure out how to do this. But the way that has been provided by spirit, because spirit causes this or allows this in order, because you're meant to go on a different path. You're meant to, this was meant, whatever this is, it's meant to happen because it's meant to divert you on a different path. But that path, you're like, no, I don't want that path. That's not what I planned. So you don't want to look at it. But that's why these things happen, because you're meant to be on a different path. And while these cards can be difficult, I mean, sometimes the tower can represent winning the lottery or getting that unexpected marriage proposal, but they often represent something ending in a way that can be challenging or painful or difficult to accept. But the key to moving through the energy of cards like death, transformation, the tower, is to understand that one, we have no control over it because it's God's spirit, your angels, guides, and two, that it's always meant on the other side of it towards your joy and fulfillment. So the key is to just going with it. So this has happened because you're meant to be on a different path. Accept it. And once you accept that, the blindfolds will come off. The swords will be uncrossed, and you'll know intuitively which ways you're meant to be. I think you already know it anyway, Sagittarius. You're just like, don't want to. You don't wanna. You don't wanna. We all have those days, those don't I don't wanna days. Even though you know you're supposed to. That's okay. Honor that too. But you're not going to get around this. It's putting you on a different path because it's a path that you're supposed to be on. So then we have maybe around the last week or so of May, towards the end of May, we have sorry, itchy nose. We have the Seven of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands. Wow, it just jumped up, bopped me right in the nose. It's what I get for itching my nose in a video, but real life calls. So we have the Seven of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands. So this is really trying to figure it out. I mean, the Seven of Pentacles is reflection, assessment. This is, look at all the work and time and effort I've put into growing this crop, into my physical structure, into this thing, whatever it is. What do I do now? Do I stay with it? Do I continue to try and grow it? Is it possible to get this from a 7 to a 10? Should I just take what I can and leave and start a new crop somewhere else? What do I do? And it's sitting right next to the Two of Wands. So again, something was already in place, and now something unexpected has happened. You're at this crossroads. What do I do? And you're like looking around at what you have and trying to make decisions. It's it's taking inventory, it's taking stock, it's checking out your motives and what's best moving forward and trying to get through that. And you're almost through the end of it here. I mean, it's clarified by the Nine of Wands, which is the card of being very close to completion of something, because 10 is completion. We're at a 9 here. But this poor soldier, he doesn't understand that he's very close to finishing this battle. Because 10, it's done. The 10 represents that heavy burden that's just, you're just going to be able to let go of. So you're in like the last 80% of the battle being done. You just don't see it right now. Right now, you've been through so much already, so many battles, and all you can see is this one more obstacle, one more hurdle that's cropped up in front of you. This tower card all of a sudden, and you're like feeling discouraged, depressed, tired, like maybe feeling like, should I give up? Maybe I can't get through this. How do I get through this? But you're trying to figure it out. So just to recap really quickly, Sagittarius, this is something that's been going on for you. Like something happened before, all these plans are in place, you started enacting these plans. It's been challenging, delays, obstacles, blocks because of, how the world has changed. So just when you think you're getting to this next step of it, something else has happened. And you're like, oh my gosh, one more thing. But I think it's the last thing here. So it's about kind of getting through this. And it was meant to put you on a different path, to divert you on a different path and one that you're meant to be on, or get you, it's either to put you on a completely different path to a completely different destination, or maybe you're still headed towards the same thing in the end, but you're meant to do it in a different way. And you're just like, you know, you're just like, no, I don't want to. I have this plan. I want my plan. And you're trying to figure it out. But I think that you will. Let's clarify this Two of Swords. I mean, the Two of Swords can be, as most cards can, a variety of different things. But I'm really getting this. No, I don't want to look at that. I had it planned this way, and that's what I want to stick with. But this Tower card happened because, you're meant to do this in a different way or go in a different direction. The Four of Swords is clarifying the Two of Swords. I don't want to. I'm taking a temporary withdrawal, a temporary step back, which you are. You're taking a temporary step back and, kind of taking stock, taking inventory, uh, you know. But I think maybe around the middle of the month or the third week of the month, you're just like, and that's okay. You're just like, I don't want to think about this. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to look at it. I want to take a step back. I want to rest, recuperate, maybe get a different perspective. And then you're kind of reflecting, okay, how do I get this done? So, all right, let's see if we can clarify the Tower a little bit. I mean, the Tower is meant to be unexpected, but let's pull a clarifying card for it anyway. Oh, Ten of Swords. So feeling betrayed, maybe feeling kicked in the teeth, maybe feeling hugely disappointed. But again, the end, whatever it is, I mean, these are both cards of major endings and completions. Difficult one, so might be betrayal and the ending of a personal relationship. But I'm getting for some of you, this is like some big thing that was going on in your life that was making a big change, a big move or a big change for you and your family, something like that. And it's just been one problem after another. And now there's this huge thing. And maybe what's happened for some of you, I mean, this could be a lot of different things. It could be a relationship issue, but I'm actually, for most of you, getting that it's something else, although it might be affecting your relationship, something that you felt you were meant to do or had, gone through all of these changes in order to affect this change. You had to like totally restructure your life and planning and I think some of you are moving or something like that. And all of a sudden something has happened recently. Maybe the decision for you to move or to take a new job or something like that was reversed and you're feeling kind of a bit thrown under the bus or really disappointed. It could be that because this is a general reading, so it's going to mean a little different ways and to different people. It could be that whatever was planned was yanked away from you, and spirit was like, no, you're not meant to do that. And so the whole thing is just kiboshed. Or it could be that it was supposed you had it planned to go in a certain direction in a certain way at a certain time frame, and something has come in to totally kind of blow that out of the water. Now you're trying to figure out a different way to do it. But for some of you, it might be whatever it was that you were planning on doing and setting all these things into motion just isn't happening anymore. And you're trying to figure out how to get through it. But right around the middle of the month, you take a bit of a mental break, and that's okay. Honor that. And then maybe the last week or so of May, you're kind of like back to, okay, let's figure this out. How do we get through this? How do I get through this? So let's just take a quick sneak peek at what's next. And I think for those of you for whom this is a big, like, absolute block or kibosh or ending of this major plan or even whatever, I think that the Two of Swords and the Four of Swords, because that card from the bottom of the deck can also represent not just overall energy, but advice too. So take a day, take 3 days, take a little bit of a mental break from it. I think you need that in order to make wise decisions afterwards. So let's take a look at what happens after. Maybe the very end of May or the very beginning of June. Just a little quick sneak peek, even though in a couple weeks we'll be doing the June readings. Let's just take a little peek. What's next for Sagittarius? God, I hope I just didn't say Aries. Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. So you are going to figure it out, Sagittarius. Pentacles, because the last week of May we've got, okay, how do I figure this out? Let's take stock, let's take inventory, and let's make decisions based on that. Let's just get through the end of this. And so here's the page, like also figuring it out, trying to put everything that he's learned into practical application at the beginning of the path of figuring it out. And then the Knight here, I like this progression because the Knight comes after the page. The Knight actually begins the action of carrying out the mission, the quest. He's the slowest of all four of the knights, but he's also the surest, the steadiest, the most detail oriented. So I really like this. So this is the energy that's coming right after this, Sagittarius. So, right at the end of May or the very beginning of June, you're like, okay, I'm a page, I'm learning. Pages, that student, that apprentice energy, I'm learning all this practical information and I'm figuring out how to put it into actual practical application in my life. And then the Knight of Cups, because pages, they don't really can't take a lot of action because they're still learning, they're still having the dreams, the ideas, getting the information, but the knights do. The knights are action oriented. They take that information and knowledge and they begin to put it into action to move something forward. So I really like the progression of this. So just know this, those of you that are going to be going through this for the last half of May or are in the process of going through it already, you're going to figure it out. Take a few days of, mental R&R. And kind of just give yourself a bit of a reprieve and a break. There's nothing wrong with this card. We all need to take a step back and take breaks. Get a perspective. Because, a little distance, a little hindsight, a little perspective, maybe somebody else's opinion can help give us a more practical energy so that we're not making decisions, based right in the midst of all the emotional chaos that can sometimes happen when the Tower card energy happens. It's always best not to just let it rest for a bit. Realize that whatever happened is there for a reason. Even if you can't see the reason right now, take a few days break and then come back to it and take a practical look at it. You're going to figure it out actually pretty quickly and begin to move on that after this. So no worries, Sagittarius, you've got this one. So remember when you're going through this, when you get to this Nine of Wands energy, you're almost there. You're going to get through it. It's going to be okay. And I feel like whatever this is specifically in your life, Sagittarius, I feel like it's been going on for a while and it's just been a bit of a struggle the whole way. Okay, we're going to do this. Oh, no, this is shut down. Okay, well, then with this, oh, I can't do that. Or this is delayed. Or I know this has been a challenge, but I feel like I mean, the end is near. Well, I don't mean that sounds too ominous. The end is near. The finish line is in sight. It's the wrong thing to say in this day and age, right? The end is in sight. I mean, the finish line is there. You're gonna, one way or the other, whatever path that's been switched or you've moved around on, you're meant to, and you're going to figure it out. And you're close to that. So, um, yeah. So hopefully, so Sagittarius, that's your reading. I hope that you found it useful, helpful. I hope it didn't confuse you too much. Again, if this reading did resonate for you, or if any of the readings do, and you would like to reach out for a personal one-on-one reading with me, or information about that, just click on the description link below, click on that little arrow. You'll pull down some info and contact details. You'll see my email address there. You can send me an email, Maggie, the number one McGuire @gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you. I can usually respond within the first 24 hours with more info, and we'll take it from there. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the June 2020 general readings. In the meantime, I wish you love, peace, and blessings. Please stay safe and healthy and well. Don't take any unnecessary risks. And I hope to see you back here again very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.